The Nazca lines are a collection of long straight lines and giant geometric figures, geoglyphs, designs or motifs etched into the ground, located in the Peruvian coastal plain about 250 miles or 400 kilometers south of Lima, Peru. Nobody knows for sure when the lines were created or what their purpose is. The Nazca lines can only be fully appreciated when viewed from the air given their massive size. Despite being studied for over 80 years, the geoglyphs, which were designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1994, are still a mystery to researchers. What are the Nazca lines? There are three basic types of Nazca lines: straight lines, geometric designs, and pictorial representations. In this video, I will explore the most visible line seen from the air, which is also one of the longest lines, measuring over 9 kilometers. Here you can see it marked with red. If you zoom into the area where the second most visible line cross the most visible line, you will see a square measuring approximately 100 by 100 meters. This square is parallel to the line we are exploring. You can see the line cut the square. In the last video, I extended this line in Google Earth towards the south, where it passed over a big mysterious complex in the Atacama Desert. In this video, I will extend it northward. The first interesting place the line is passing over is Lima, the capital of Peru. Overshadowed by the charm of smaller towns like Cusco, the Peruvian capital tends to get unfairly written off as just another big Latin American city. Many assume it lacks the ancient cultural touchstones found elsewhere in the country. But snuggled between those white high-rise apartment buildings sit towering mounds of camel-colored clay that are more than 3 times as old as the Inca constructions on Machu Picchu, also known as Lima's huacas. Experts say that ancient Lima was once covered by huacas, but you can still find them in nearly every neighborhood today. The government has identified more than 400 of them, and over 300 are marked as landmarks. Some have been better preserved and restored than others. The perhaps oldest huaca in Lima is the 3,500-year-old Huaca Garagay. Here you can see it just next to the line. In this image you can see the structure Huaca Garagay in comparison to the Great Pyramid at Giza. Inside Huaca Garagay, archaeologists from Lima municipality have found a 3,500-year-old high-relief polychrome friezes, similar to those found in Chavin Juntar. Another famous place in Lima is Huaca Hualmarca. In 1942, archaeologist Julio Tello began excavating the site, and in 1958 a team of researchers found 48 funeral bundles on top of the pyramid. The site was converted into a museum in 1960. Among the objects exhibited in the museum are mummies, ceramic pots from the Lima culture, jars and bottles decorated with red, white and black geometric figures, and jugs with anthropomorphic representations. Another famous ancient site in Lima is Huaca Pucllana. The Huaca Pucllana is an adobe and clay pyramid located in the Miraflores district in centralized Lima, Peru. The pyramid has 7 staggered levels. The most important building on the site is a 25-meter high temple of adobe and clay. Around it, there are several squares, open spaces, and smaller buildings. In 2008, researchers at the Huaca Pucllana ruins discovered a tomb and unearthed a well-preserved 1,300-year-old female mummy. According to archaeologist Isabel Flores, the woman was from the Wari culture. Flores described the find as a multiple tomb in which 3 funeral bundles were found. One has an impressive mask with the human characteristics of a woman. They exposed her face, revealing two big bright blue orbs in her eye sockets. The blue orbs are strange because Native Americans are not blue-eyed. Following the line further north to Mexico, we come to another very interesting ancient place. An ancient city located in the Valley of Mexico, built by an unknown civilization thousands of years ago, hides many secrets. The ancient city of Teotihuacan is a true wonder of ancient engineering and one of the most famous pyramid cities built in Mesoamerica, home to 3 large pyramid temples. The culture that erected the city is unknown to history, although scholars have theorized throughout the years who they may have been. Much of what we know about Teotihuacan and its fascinating 3 pyramids comes from the Aztecs, who found the city in ruins, and from the time of the Spanish conquest. Before the 1400s, the city of Teotihuacan was one of the first metropolises of the Western Hemisphere. References from Spanish conquest suggest the name Teotihuacan was given by the Nahuatl-speaking Aztecs hundreds of years after the fall of the city, which is thought to have been around 550 CE. The word Teotihuacan has been translated by scholars as the birthplace of the gods, or the place where gods were born. The word Teotihuacan consists of 3 words. The first word is Teo, which means holy or divine. The second word is Ti. Ti makes a verb of a noun, to be or become that thing, having that quality. So Teoti means become divine or is divine. Huacan means place. So the name Teotihuacan means place to become divine or place that is divine. Its original name remains a mystery, much like its builders. But we know they built a city that would stand the test of time and remain unmatched for thousands of years. Anything that happened before the Aztecs arrived at Teotihuacan isn't well documented. For example, ancient hieroglyphs from the Maya suggest the city of Teotihuacan was referred to as the place of reeds. Among scholars, there isn't a general consensus that agree on the exact foundation date of the city and who its original founders were, but experts maintain that around 1000 years before the Aztecs stumbled across Teotihuacan, the city was being built. It is so ancient that it was already ancient to a civilization that for us today is ancient. There are 2 larger pyramids and 1 smaller at Teotihuacan. The smaller one, called the Pyramid of Quetzalcoatl, which means Pyramid of the Feathered Serpent. It is now considered to be the most important of the 3. All structures built in Teotihuacan was connected intricately with the Avenue of the Dead and smaller side roads. The largest temple in the city is the so-called Pyramid of the Sun. Its original name remains an enigma. Experts estimate the pyramid was erected in 2 distinct phases. The second phase saw the builders finish a pyramid that was 225 meters across, rising 75 meters high. Once completed, the Pyramid of the Sun was the 3rd largest pyramid in the world. The 2nd largest pyramid in the world is the Great Pyramid of Giza, and the most colossal pyramid ever constructed on the surface of the planet is the Great Pyramid of Cholula, which is 90 kilometers away. The Pyramid of the Moon is the 2nd largest structure at Teotihuacan. The Pyramid of the Moon is 43 meters tall, from west to east. Its base measures 147 meters, while in the north to south direction it measures 130 meters. Archaeologists have recently confirmed a discovery that took place at Teotihuacan between 2017 and 2018. A cavity of 15 meters in diameter and one or more tunnels under its foundation, about 8 meters deep. The result of this research has been published in the Journal of Archaeological Science. The Pyramid of the Moon is also located in one of the most important spaces in Teotihuacan and stands on the main axis of the city. The Calzada de los Muertos, or Avenue of the Dead, one of the most characteristic parts of Teotihuacan. The massive avenue connects the most prominent structures of the city. Recent studies confirm that the ancient inhabitants of Teotihuacan reproduced the same pattern of tunnels in all its great monuments, such as the Pyramid of the Sun and the Temple of Quetzalcoatl, where researchers have already discovered caves and tunnels in the past. Although just as the purpose of the pyramids continues to elude experts, so does the exact purpose of the subterranean tunnels. Although researchers believe that the ancient civilization used the subterranean world for religious ceremonies related to the afterlife, fertility, and creation. The Pyramid of the Feathered Serpent, although smaller, is equally as impressive as its larger two pyramids. The pyramid is flanked by representations of feathered serpent, which later cultures identified as Quetzalcoatl or Kukulkan. In total, there are 260 feathered serpent heads attached to the side of the pyramid, carefully placed between the platforms. The Temple of the Feathered Serpent was built as a 6-layered step pyramid. In 2003, a tunnel was discovered beneath the Feathered Serpent Pyramid. Undisturbed for 1,800 years, the sealed-off passage was found to contain thousands of extraordinary treasures lying exactly where they had first been placed as ritual offerings to the gods. Items unearthed included green stone crocodile teeth, crystals shaped into eyes, and sculptures of jaguars ready to pounce. Even more remarkable was a miniature mountainous landscape, 17 meters underground, with tiny pools of liquid mercury representing lakes. The walls of the tunnel were found to have been carefully impregnated with powdered pyrite or fool's gold to give the effect in firelight of standing under a galaxy of stars. In 2013, archaeologists using a robot found metallic spheres, which they dubbed disco balls, in an unexcavated portion of the tunnel near pyrite mirrors. Among the most surprising things discovered at Teotihuacan, none is as puzzling as mica. A lot of ritual objects were made reflective with mica, a sparkling mineral likely imported to the region. Most of the mica at Teotihuacan was found and removed from the Pyramid of the Sun in the 1900s. Because of its value, it was consequently sold. Mica is a mineral name given to a group of minerals that are physically and chemically similar. They are all silicate minerals, known as sheet silicates, because they form in distinct layers. Micas are fairly light and relatively soft, and the sheets and flakes of mica are flexible. Traces of mica were found on other structures at Teotihuacan. The Palace of the Butterflies in Teotihuacan is home to various circles on its walls that were crafted from reflective mica. These have been interpreted by scholars as early representations of cosmic bodies. People are unaware of just how much mica was actually discovered at Teotihuacan. This is a silicon whose special properties make it resistant to water, heat, and electrical currents. It has therefore been used as an insulator in various chemical processes and electrical and electronic applications, and in recent times in nuclear and space technologies. The particular properties of mica depends to some extent on its content of other trace minerals, and thus on its geographic source. According to experts' opinion, the mica found at Teotihuacan is of a type that is found only in faraway Brazil. Like the Great Pyramid in Egypt, the Pyramid of the Sun is part of a trio of pyramids. The alignment of these three pyramids in Teotihuacan seems identical to the alignment of the three pyramids in Giza. Furthermore, the alignments at both sites clearly reflect the alignments of the three stars of Orion's belt. The similarities between the pyramids of Teotihuacan and those of Giza are undeniable, but they are not identical. The Pyramid of Quetzalcoatl is not a large square that is visible on satellite images. This large square is a plaza known as Ciudadela, and whilst the Pyramid of Quetzalcoatl is located within the Ciudadela, it measures 60 meters across its base. However, the Ciudadela measures 240 meters across the front. I was using Google Earth to measure the distance between the center of the Great Pyramid and the center of the Pyramid of Quetzalcoatl. The distance between the center of these two pyramids is 6,666 nautical miles in ground length. The number 6,666 just seems too perfect to be by chance. And measured in kilometers, the distance is 12,345.4321 kilometers. If we read it number by number, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, the square root of this number is 11,111 or 11111. This number also seems too perfect to occur by chance. The number 6,666 is encoded in the Fibonacci numbers, the building blocks of everything in nature. 6,666 nautical miles is also the distance from Challenger Deep, the deepest known place in the ocean, to Easter Island, the most isolated island in the world. I highly suggest you check out the channel Jane108 on YouTube, where he gives you the explanation on how 6,666 is encoded in the Fibonacci numbers. I have put the link below the video. Thank you for watching.